News with no bias, news with no exceptions, including nothing but the truth. This is Oro News Patrol, broadcasting live at Cagayan de Oro City. Here is your news anchor for today. Good day, Philippines, and hello world. I am Noli Bustamante, and this is Oro News Patrol. For the headlines, for the local news, Rufus Rodriguez files certificate of candidacy, seeks re-election as congressman. For the national news, President Duterte keeps high approval trust ratings. For the international news, Xi Jinping, global rules cannot be written by individual countries. We will be right back with more news after these reminders. You are still watching at Oro News Patrol. For the local news, Rufus Rodriguez files certificate of candidacy, seeks re-election as congressman. House Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez filed his certificate of candidacy today as representative of Cagayan de Oro City, 2nd District. Rodriguez first served as a member of the House of Representatives from 2007 to 2016. During the 29th polls, he won again a seat in Congress and served as chairman of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments. He was elected as the first Cagayanan Deputy Speaker on November 18, 2020. We will be right back with more news after these reminders. You are still watching at Oro News Patrol. For the national news, President Duterte keeps high approval trust ratings. President Rodrigo Duterte has maintained high approval and trust scores in the third quarter as the Philippine election season approaches. According to the Publicus Asia October 11 to 18 poll, Duterte registered an overall approval rating of 60%, an improvement from his 58% score in the survey conducted in the second quarter. He also acquired a high trust rating of 53%, 3 points higher than his 50% score in the previous quarter. Duterte's government also got approval for its handling of national issues like extending voter registration, conducting an audit on Red Cross, full opening of the ceremony by December, and allowing minors to get COVID-19 vaccine, and among others. We will be right back with more news after these reminders. You are still watching at Oro News Patrol. And now for the international news. Global rules cannot be written by individual countries, said President Xi Jinping. Chinese President Xi Jinping said on Monday that the international law, with the UN at the core, should be observed by all countries without exception, and the global rules cannot be written by individual countries in a veiled attack on the US. He added that they should resolutely uphold the authority and standing of the United Nations and work together to practice multilateralism. Countries should uphold the international system with the United Nations at its core. The international order underpin the international law and the basic norms of international relations based on the purposes and basic principles of the UN Charter. For the recap for today's headlines, for the local news, Rufus Rodriguez files certificate of candidacy, seeks re-election as congressman. For the national news, President Duterte keeps high approval trust ratings. For the international news, Xi Jinping, global rules cannot be written by individual countries. And that's all the updates for this day. I am Noli Bustamante, and this is Oro News Patrol. News with no exception, news with no bias, including nothing but the truth.